back to the GSL. We are in our 3rd of 5 session now. That's 3 fifths. Another way to talk about that number. And things are starting, this is the part, we talked about this the past 2 days, but the 3rd set of 5 matches is, well, the 3rd set of 3 matches out of 5 is one where things really start to get determined. You always end up having 2 players with 2 wins and no losses at the head of the group, and it's kind of like the other 4 players are trying to dethrone them to get those spots.
Yeah. Young and Grubby currently at the end of the ranking. We have first and DRG leading, and Symbol and Lucira in the middle. So this is kind of where things start to develop a lot more. And Grubby, if he wants to get a direct place into Code S, he needs to win now.
Very true. And, you know, I mean, this is not over yet. We have seen crazier comebacks than this, so...
The thing is, Grubby had to play against DRG on Antigua, which is a map that you don't want to play against Zerg if you're a Protoss player. It's just a map that all of them don't really like. And now he has to face Lucira on Cloud Kingdom, which is a much better map against a Zerg player. And it's also the map that he has to play against Symbol later on. Symbol today in good shape, and then also one of the things that you have to bow... Oh, look at that! Symbol found a new team. He's in TLS now.
Oh wow, look at that.
I'm not quite sure what that is.
It's Team Life SCV.
Yeah, well, I guess. Yeah, but jokes aside. Cloud Kingdom, a much better map against a Zerg player for Protoss. And Lucira lost against a Protoss player today already. He lost against his own teammate, against first on Belcher Vestige. So, I feel here we're gonna see a bit of a different style. Grubby's strategy so far in the PvP didn't really work out against Dongagu. He played well, but DRG is just a monster, and especially on a big map like Antigua Shipyard, it's hard to withstand the pressure of DRG. That's a problem that a lot of Protoss players have to deal with in Korea, not only Grubby.
Yeah, we talked about that. You know, it's a map that's in the early game a little bit tougher for Zergs, but when it goes late, that might be something that gives someone like Grubby a lot of trouble. On this map, though, I feel like this map plays out through all stages of the game. You can do immortal pushes, you can take that 3rd base with even a gateway wall at your 3rd, which is what I would expect to see from Grubby. But Lucira, again, he's somebody who's hard to predict. He might even do a 2-base roach push, you never know.
Yeah, Lucira is on 1-1 now in this group. He also wants a win, but even if he loses here, he still has a chance of getting 1st or 2nd. If Grubby loses, he only can get 3rd place to get a slot in the wildcard group on Friday and have a 2nd attempt to reach Code S. If not, if he is also losing the 4th game, then he would be in Code A. But we're gonna find out. Cloud Kingdom is the map in our Protoss vs Zerg. LGIM's Lucira has to face Grubby now. The game is live and we are ready and good to go. Let's find out if Grubby can do it, if he will get his 1st win in the GSL. It's the up and down group C with Paul and Wolf. Incredible Miracle Zerg player starts to the bottom left. He avenged Nest here in his last game against Byung. He's 1-1 in the group. Let's find out if he can get a 2nd win. It is...
LGIM Lucira.
That Lucira extractor cancel. Lifestyle. No badges on his chest, unlike many LGIM players. His opponent to the top right, the independent player from the Netherlands, the foreigner hope, he is...
Groovy.
It does really sound like they say groovy.
Yeah.
He is pretty groovy, I would say.
He definitely got rid of this jacket.
Things are getting heated up.
Yep. Things just got real. A 10 pool for Lucira, look at that. He's trying to pressure Grubby early on in the game, and Grubby now with a pylon on the low ground. Is he going for the Nexus first here?
You know, it's strange. It's a temple with overlords, so it's a more economic temple. You don't see this very often. You can see that these guys played each other last time in the MLG Winter Arena.
The problem is that Grubby skipped the scout. He didn't go out with the scout on a 9. He might send a probe out, but this is really a big problem for him because he doesn't really know what's going on.
He's also going Nexus first,
yeah.
So this is normally fine, but against someone like Lucira, can come back to bite you.
He's taking a risk, and this is exactly the wrong choice as it seems now. If he can somehow defend against this, but that's not going to be easy at all.
It's going to come down to Grubby's microman, and Lucira is actually taking a big risk gambling up against that.
Yeah.
He's going to see right now the Forge is late, and that's going to make him really happy. Remember, this is not an all-in by Lucira either. This is just pressure play to get him ahead.
You sacrifice a bit of economy to pressure your opponent into changing his build, into playing a bit more of a defensive style. Does the probe see what's going on? Here is the wall. It's not completed. He needs a cannon here. Does he see the Zerglings? He needs to close this wall, and even if he
decides
does...
to turn around. Maybe fate is on Grubby's side here. He actually decides to turn around and play a little bit safer. If he keeps the probe there, he should be fine. He doesn't keep the probe there. Here come the Lynx. He needs to turn around right now. He's put that pylon down.
He sees it. Where's the pylon?
He
There it is.
perfectly placed it. Extremely well done, but it's not over yet.
It's not over yet,
He
indeed.
should be able to get that cannon up, though.
But the problem is,
Lynx will still get in.
the pylon is the only thing that powers structures here, so he needs to make sure that the Lynx are not getting in, that the pylon is up. He needs to have this cannon, and now the Zerglings are in and they can attack whatever they want. They can attack into the main base. This is the worst case scenario now.
Yeah, great control by Grubby, but you know, he's going to lose his probes on the ramp. A great stutter step through there with the mineral walk. He needs that Zealot out.
Still, this is not a situation where we have 2 or 3 Zerglings getting into the main base. This is suddenly 8 of them.
And the
warp
gateway is unpowered.
Yeah, the gateway is not powered. He cannot get the Zealot.
He didn't even realize that he accidentally chrono boosted it because he thought it was powered.
A very unfortunate situation here for Grubby. He's losing
really nice
so much.
He's still behind, but he loses less than many pro players would have.
He loses too much, though. It's too much.
He's way too far behind now to recover, though.
It's already horrible if you have like 3 Zerglings in your main base. You have to hide your tech a little bit. You have to always pay attention to your probes.
Even 2 is annoying.
Your timings are off. But he had 7 or 8 in the main base, and they killed so many harvesters. Grubby lost 9 probes. Lucira takes a risk, and he is rewarded in this game. Everything is going wrong for Grubby here. It's very, very unfortunate for him. He's trying to recover now, but if you just look at the harvester count, 21 to 23, Lucira is already ahead here. Grubby doesn't even have a cybernetic score.
No core. There it is. Started now. Very delayed. The gas is as well delayed here. He actually takes 1 at the natural, which is pretty smart. Notice he pulls just 1 probe deal with the Sling, and actually he will get it.
Yeah, Lucira for a second not paying attention. The Ling dying. No scouting information for Lucira anymore, but he knows that he is ahead in this game.
Lucira double gasses, by the way, with the 3rd hatchery finished. He's going to have so much extra production over his opponent. No 3rd queen yet for Lucira, but I would not be surprised if Lucira does something a little bit more aggressive to follow us up, because it's hard to transition as a pro player in this case.
What we've seen is both players taking a risk, Grubby taking a risk, being a bit greedy, not sending a probe out to scout. Yep. Usually you want to have the 9 probe that builds the pylon, send it out and see if there's an early pool. Grubby just was a bit greedy, said like, okay, well, I'm going to assume that you're not starting with an early pool. If I keep the probe at home, I will get a few more minerals and I'm ahead in the game. And if Lucira starts with a normal timing, everything's fine, and that works. But Lucira actually starts with an early pool, takes a risk on his own. If Grubby plays a very defensive game, then he's the one who loses economy. But in this scenario, it works perfectly for him.
You know what's something else to consider that we haven't talked too much about as the Stargate goes down? The pylon that Grubby placed actually walls him in completely, which means he's going to have to kill that later to do anything. This is the only scout he has right now, is this Zealot, and he will see the 3rd base, which is extremely important for him to know, especially against a player like Lucira. So he knows about the hatchery. But once the Zealot dies, if it does, then he has no other way to scout except by killing his pylon, which will then supply block him in this case.
Stargate was Grubby's original idea for this game. He wanted to open with a Stargate opening. He was not quite sure if he would like to go into a more of a Void Ray or a Phoenix build, but his idea was to go and open up with air units, try to put a bit of pressure onto Lucira and then go into a 3rd base. But at this point, it's very, very difficult for him to bounce back. He's gonna try though. Right now he's just macroing things up, and he will change his build a little bit according to what happened. But Lucira is of course way ahead, and Grubby is the one who now has to either hope for getting a lucky hit, a lucky punch, or Lucira making a few mistakes. So Lucira being ahead, but Grubby definitely not a player to give up easy. So let's just see and find out what exactly he's going to do. Because right now, Lucira at least doesn't know that there's a Stargate opening. Yeah. Grubby's waiting with the Phoenixes.
Robo going down looks like we're going to see a 3rd, not a aggressive, not one of those pushes that you see off of 2 base after the Phoenix play.
You definitely can expect the Twilight Council to be built as soon.
The roach speed though, he's got already roach speed started at 16 roaches. I mean, when you compare the production tabs, we're like looking at 2 different periods of time. It's like looking at Marine King with his glass he wears in the booth like in the 80s. It's like, well, this is just clearly a different time period that we're looking at right now. Grubby is basically at half the supply of Lucira right now. It's 122 to 69. I know that actually doesn't exactly do half, because now he's at 76. 76 times 2 is 154. But
Lucira is moving in now, and Grubby with a very tough time in this group. Guys, send him a tweet and show him that you are still supporting him, that you are happy he's in Korea. His ID on Twitter is @followgrubby.
Yep.
Lucira unfortunately doesn't have a Twitter account, but what he has are a lot of roaches.
yeah, here come those roaches, man.
And a no force field on the ramp.
He force fields really well considering the circumstances, actually.
Yeah.
And the gateway will go down.
The gateway is going to die. He's trying to get more cannons into the picture. We have Immortals
He's
being
fighting
built
for
and
his life
Chrono
here.
boosted. He's trying to hold on. The forge is also gone. Here come those Phoenixes.
He doesn't want to lift just yet. Well, he decides to. He could have tried to lift a little bit closer to the base, by the way. He's in a lot of trouble. He's got 5 Phoenixes, but they're not too useful. The sentries are going down. The cannons are not ready. One Immortal comes out. It's at the back. The Lings are going to be too much.
Lucira is going in with all the leverage that he has right now, trying to take down this one Immortal. Immortal fighting Zerglings instead of Roaches. Not what you want. Grubby in trouble. Lucira ahead with 40-50 supply, and the cannons, they had been taken down one by one. The sentries, they die, and now everything is exposed. Lucira about to claim victory in this game.
Yeah, this is the end for Grubby, and this is basically the end of his opportunity to get a Code S spot. It's going to be extremely difficult. He can still hope for that wild card, but it's not really in his hands anymore. Now down to 62 supply, extremely good micro. The Phoenix is still alive here, but he doesn't have anything else to really to protect his probes, and Lucira is just going to end it with more units coming across the map. He even has a 4th base, 1-1.
He's going for double upgrades, he's going for a 4th base, and never ending the aggression that he started. He is the one who dominates the pace of the game, and he finishes it. GG. Grubby 0-3 in the group. Lucira takes his 2nd win. Good opening for him. Not really a build order OS, but definitely a build order combination that was very, very bad for the Protoss player from the Netherlands.
You said it well about both of them taking risks. When these two risks collide, the better hand obviously goes to Lucira.
Yeah.
And if Grubby had that pylon up a little bit earlier, then maybe he could have actually prevented the Lings from getting inside. But when you don't scout, you take a risk for sure, and that's how the Grubby crumbles here in his 3rd game.
Well, right now he's down 0-3 in the group, and he needs a few wins here, but once again, this is to him also a little bit of a test. He was only in Korea for 1 week, and he improved immensely in the time that he spent at the FXO house, but this is still Korea. All the players that he's facing here, they have experience in the studio, they have experience in the booth. If Grubby is not getting out of this Code A up and down group today, he will play in Code A.
Yeah.
And up to the point where Code A starts, Grubby will have a lot of time to prepare.
A ton of time.
And this will definitely help him quite a bit. So we're gonna find out if he can get this 3rd place in the group, which would give him another chance on Friday. But for now, we are focusing on a different PvZ. We are focusing on First against Symbol, the 2 players. And actually, that's not the 2 players that are leading the group now. First has his 2-0.
It's First who actually takes Symbol's place at the top, but most people expect the Symbol to be 2-0.
Yeah, Symbol is on 1-1.
I gotta say something, by the way. Pyong is here, he's down 0-2, and he was standing next to us for a second. I noticed that CJ Enda's team jacket is a long jacket. Like,
It's a what?
It's like a long jacket that goes down to like his knees. That's like the kind of team jacket that we've never seen before. That's pretty awesome.
I think I saw that on Pro League once, and it looked a bit weird.
I think it's really cool.
It looks like a trench coat, like
it's a trench coat, but it's like Korean puppy style coat.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But it looks pretty cool. I really like it. I just wanted to say that before I forget. But First, man, he is leading this group, and if he takes Symbol down, he's going to be the anti-Grubby. He's going to be 3-0 with a good chance of getting a Code S spot.
Daybreak is the map for this PvZ. The map is loading, and both of them are ready. Symbol wants to have his win. It would tie him with First. For First, it would be the first loss. We are ready to go. Get ready, guys.
Get ready.
PvZ, Symbol versus First, and the GSL up and down Group C.